Knights at the Round Table, a round-table discussion on speculative fiction books and film. Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 31, of Knights at the Round Table. Today we are discussing the 2002 short film called The Gamers. And I want to start with general impressions of the film, and because we haven't seen John in ages, John goes first.
Okay, well, I had never heard of this at all before. So my first introduction was, hey, this is the movie. You can find it on YouTube. And it is the first result. You have to go digging, which is nice. So I was like, okay, these are going to be people that are, since there wasn't much of a description on the channel page for it. So I was like, okay, assuming this is going to be about maybe video games or something. And then as it started playing, I was like, oh, okay, it's on fantasy theme. Okay, dice. All right, so it's going to be about just some people hanging around playing Dungeons and Dragons. So I didn't realize there would be as much of the fantasy bits with them in costume. So that was interesting. I liked how that added a bit of flavor to it. It wasn't just them like, cracking jokes and sort of like hanging around in a circle sort of thing. I liked how there was that extra layer added.
Mm-hmm. Eric?
I had seen the second, the third, and a few of the spin-offs, but I'd never seen the original. And in a tired haze, I sat down to watch it with a coffee, and I giggled throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, same for me. Same as John, before it was put in the bowl, I had never ever heard of it. My first watch was last night, and it's not high production value by any stretch of the imagination, but it is funny. It is so funny. I was laughing all the way through, sometimes loud enough to scare the cats. So, well done, guys. I had so much fun watching this film. I was utterly charmed by it.
Yeah, no, it did have a nice, like you said, charm to it. Exactly. Like, I wasn't quite sure what to expect and how they were going to handle it, but I was like, okay, are they going to play this very serious? But I liked how it was very comedic the whole way through. I liked a lot of the little jokes. And yeah, it did have some low like production quality in some spots. Then some spots where like the audio would be kind of like much cleaner in some scenes and others not. So it's like, okay, but I mean, I'm assuming it was just like a project they did on the side or for a class or something like that.
It was a student film in 2002.
Yeah, which for that I thought was pretty well done. Like I thought the writing in it and their jokes I thought were really good. I really appreciate a lot of them that they had.
Yes, very much so. Like right from the beginning, honestly. When my favorite was the thief setting up the ballista.
Yeah.
For the backstab. And everybody's frozen while he's taking his time to set this thing up. Oh, it's just, there are so many gags in there that are just so funny beyond just the silly comedic things like repeatedly shooting the bandit leader, the bandit king.
Yeah.
And then rewinding.
No, you can't do that.
Rewinding.
Would you stop killing him? Would you let him finish his speech?
And I've like most of the interactions between the players and like the DM and questions and things they bicker about. Like I haven't played a lot of D&D, but I've definitely seen a little bit of those things in almost every game that I've played.
They captured the essence of D&D
perfectly. Even I think that made me laugh the most was the guy who wasn't there.
Okay.
So I love that character. It was my favorite.
They'd randomly remember him and zoom in on the character.
Yeah. Or when they're in the fight and he's just in the background just sort of standing there.
The bad guys poke at him.
Yeah, and they're like...
Because I've been to games where someone has not been there, and that's almost exactly how... It was the perfect representation of how that player's... Oh yeah, we've got our other character. Oh yeah, he's just there.
Yeah.
And most of the time he's just kind of, he is a scarecrow. Yeah.
And the four of you mean the five of us, and then just Mark sort of steps in. Starts walking. All of these gags were hilarious. My favorite gag was when the DM said, look guys, I want you to roleplay this, okay?
Everyone's tried to kill you
so
far.
So much. Because that sounds like something I would say.
A shifty place.
Yeah.
Alright,
go ahead. Yeah. You seem trustworthy. Want to join our group? Okay.
All right. And then he goes into the spot missing from the other wizard.
I see you do not have a wizard. That is correct. We do not. Would you like to join? It's just like every group is just like, just roll them and let's just keep going.
And that happens even with the most experienced role-playing groups that I've been with. they're like, yeah, it's a PC. We're just okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is your new character. Okay, join the group. Even though, like, if
One
we were
of
actually...
us.
Which is-
One of us.
Better than the alternative for a lot of gaming groups where a new character is introduced and everyone's super suspicious, and you spend 3 sessions trying to get them to get together.
Yeah.
They just wanted to get along with the plot and fight the shadow.
Yeah, but I love how the roleplay this guys, and they don't really.
No.
It was the funny, and the thing is, that gag, as in many others, was so subtle. That for people who don't play D&D, you won't get it. I don't think it'll
be funny, but I don't think it'll get it as much.
Yeah,
honestly,
any sense of like sort of tabletop games or even just regular video games, just a little bit, I think you would kind of get it. If you had zero knowledge, then not quite as much. Maybe
no, it would be a bunch of guys running around being stupid. I think you wouldn't get the plethora of gags that they have in this movie,
or like all the arguments about certain rules. That thing, if you were not used to playing D&D at all, I don't think you would quite appreciate it as much.
No.
Or there's that one player who rolls terribly all the time,
and
the other player who rolls amazingly throughout.
What's your strength? 19. What's your strength? 6.
Then he does the Star Wars.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
Pants. Stealing of pants.
Stealing of pants.
Now I want
to
be in a game where I'm a thief character. Now I just want to steal everything that's not bolted down. Just from that.
Yeah. Having watched their other shows, even the ones not in that universe, it's fun to recognize the locations. So the river that they were at is in pretty much every one of their... Whenever they need a river, they go to the same river.
The Stock River.
Yeah, it's a stock river. It makes sense. It's probably around where they live.
Also, that scene at the river where everybody's just standing there for ages and you're just like...
You're forgetting your fear of water.
Oh, yeah!
There's always that one player who decides, I'm going to be afraid of something completely ridiculous, like hair or water or fighting. And you're like, why are you doing this? What's the point?
Yeah.
It's true, actually, now that I think of it. I watched SourceFed Nerds Dungeons and Dragons playthrough. And one of the people decided that they were... deathly allergic or water killed them, so if they got a little bit wet they would start melting, kind of idea. It was the dumbest thing, but it made for a very, very funny playthrough.
Inclement weather arrives on the horizon.
Yeah, right?
I cower in fear.
You meet a spit talker. Oh no!
Yeah, right. So dumb. And it's true, it happens in every game. Like, somebody decides that their weakness is going to be
very
something
entertaining,
ridiculous,
but the DM always either gets annoyed with it or overuses it.
God, this movie was so cute.
Well, I can go on with what happens later quickly. So there's 2 other movies after this one. They have different characters in them.
Okay, so it's not a continuous
It's not
story.
continuous.
Okay.
But they're just now releasing 15 years later, a TV show, so 20-minute episodes on YouTube following both series of characters interacting with each other. So you've got the people who played the game in 2 and 3 meeting the characters who are in our world older now.
Oh, okay.
Some of them have buffed up. They've got more gray in their beards. But it looks really interesting. They've also done a whole bunch of other fantasy-themed things.
I am really excited to see what else they have done, because this is the first time I've ever even heard of... What is it? Dead Gentleman Productions is the name of the...
Yes.
And one of the great things about them is they're fully fan-funded. So they don't take any studio money. Everything is through sort of like Patreon, but not exactly.
Yeah, that affords them a lot of creative freedom, I think. I'm really excited to see all the other stuff, because this movie just had me rolling. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, as like an early work and sort of like an introduction to what they do later, I thought it was good. And it's if that much time has passed, then they've obviously they can do things a lot better. And so to see anything new would be probably really good.
They've got a lot of content. Humans and Households is another fun one, where you've got a cleric, a rogue, a fighter, and a dwarf role-playing humans in our world.
Yeah.
And in this movie, I noticed right away that it was very stereotypical.
It was very stereotypical.
4 guys, the girl's pissed off that she can't study. But in the later ones, they introduced female gamers who are as good, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
There's also a little bit of a riff on Magic the Gathering.
I really enjoyed the introduction, because it felt so
19...
80s.
Yeah, it was done very well, though. The
80s,
execution was perfect.
The execution was perfect. The music was like almost straight out of Princess Bride, honestly. It was so ridiculous. I'm like, it put me in the exact correct mood to watch the rest of this movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It did. It kind of set the vibe.
Yeah, like it was like, what was it? That 5 friends play Dungeons and Dragons or something?
Yeah. ...
during finals week. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
And then there's the really cheesy like character sheets. And, yeah.
Very old-timey.
Yes, it was. It was great. It was awesome. I quite liked it. And it's probably, with the equipment that they would have had in 2002, probably the best they could have done. I wouldn't...
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
considering
good,
it's
yeah.
obviously a student. Like, they didn't have professional equipment.
You can tell.
But
like,
I was doing films at the same time, and they did very well.
Yeah.
Their use of green screen was actually pretty impressive.
Yeah,
for
it was.
The cut in half guy and
yes.
No, those shots actually worked out fairly
and
well.
the makeup for the ogre
was
pretty
funny.
good.
Yeah.
It made me
Yeah.
laugh because he had full ogre makeup but pink ears, like pink person ears. It was just great.
It's just a forehead variation. That's what makes anything
Right?
an ogre.
Yeah. The trap that they run into.
Wait! I would not have done that.
Did I say sneak? I meant inch forward on my head. He's like, just...
Rogue. Having played a thief rogue kind of character, I'm sneaking. Well, you didn't say you were sneaking. Do you want me to say it all the time?
I'm always sneaking.
Sneaking
No, you're
engaged.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Oh, so good. So good. And their locations were beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had some good outdoor spots. Yeah.
They did some really great stuff with what they had on hand. I was impressed. Like, you can tell. It's not great quality. But then...
I still thought it was decent quality for
I think
what it is.
considering what it was. Yeah.
That's it exactly.
It has some better continuity than some of the 80s movies we've watched.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like how they tried to do different shots. It wasn't just a bunch of really static angles. They tried to use some different camera shots and
They
techniques.
used a lot of camera angles for just the room that they were in. That's hard to do.
Yeah, and I thought it made it a lot better.
Yeah, it did. And honestly,
variation.
the poor quality of the thing worked for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It made it sort of endearing in a way that I don't think a studio quality movie would have been.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree.
Not.
Yeah.
This is something that always makes me laugh is when a player dies and then basically makes the exact same character with a different name.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I really just want to keep being the same guy. So.
What was his other name? It was
Magellan.
Magellan.
Ambrose. Yeah. Magellan! Sorry. Oh, it was good. It was really, really good. I had a blast with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I liked it as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Consensus.
What? Yeah, watching this made me want to do similar stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think it looked like a lot of fun to make, and I think it would be a lot of fun just to go running around the woods in costume and pretending to sword fight and stuff.
That's called LARPing.
I was gonna say, yep.
I've seen a few of those in the
I'm
wild.
actually surprised you haven't done that yet.
I know, right? It's lack of funds and lack of time. Because I don't have any of, like, the Nerf swords. All of my swords are real, and they generally frown down on using real
they
swords.
do indeed.
I have wooden practice swords, but I don't think that would be good.
No, that's not... Yeah, no, that's not either.
Even a wooden sword can kill.
Yes, indeed. Having been hit in the knuckles with wooden swords often.
Knuckles, yeah.
Not fun. Not fun. So, yeah, I think... Great job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Really pleased with this movie. So, we can go to... was there anything that really bothered you about this?
No, there's just a few, like, technical things, like the audio inconsistent, but it's sort of, like, just issues with being, like, a small budget little, like, home movie.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no, I thought it was fairly decent.
Anything that annoyed me about it was the fact that there wasn't more. So, like, I like the idea of them going back and forth between characters. I did not see the twist coming, though. I had wondered how those characters... Because I knew those characters came to our world, but I didn't see it coming until they're like, I'm looking for a trap. And I was like, wait a sec, that's a college. Oh.
When it happened, I'm like, what is going on? And then
I was confused, too. I was like, huh?
I got the same feeling from the ending of this movie that I got from the ending of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where it just ends and you're like...
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, yeah. Very similar feel.
Yeah.
That
Like,
was
oh, this is
something
odd.
that was gaming related that I've noticed in every gaming group I've ever been in. They quote Monty Python.
And they didn't.
Yeah, Garth reminded me
Yeah.
about that, and they didn't in this. They didn't quote anything copyrighted. So even they mentioned Dritz, but not by name. The elf with 2 swords at the beginning. Or they showed one player's handbook. I think Garth said it was 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.0 or 3.0 actually is what it would be at that time.
Yeah, I love how the rulebook was just covered in.
But you don't
Yeah.
you don't see anything that could identify it, except unless you'd seen one of these and you knew what they looked like.
Spent hours looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked how their rulebook was covered in paper.
Yeah.
Just
Very
to
clever.
avoid.
They were like, we're not going to be sued.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate getting sued.
It just puts a damper on my whole week.
It's funny because it's true. It's a very litigious society in the States. So, yeah, nothing really awful and just smiles all the way through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. Star rating?
4.
No, I'd give it a 3.
Yeah, 4 for me because I was laughing. And
That's not easy.
apparently not. It's been mentioned that I have a weird sense of humor, so I don't know, this appealed to my weird sense of humor. I just thought the gags were hilarious. There was the arrow chase. Reminded me...
That's so funny.
Hot Shots Part 2 with the chicken.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it kind of reminded me of Men in Tights, Robin Hood Men in
Yes.
Tights, with the Patriot arrow that goes through the crowd and then straight in. Yeah. So lots of funny gags. If you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons or you're familiar with the sort of role-playing game culture, you will probably find this movie hilarious. If you have absolutely no idea about it, then you might just sort of think it's a bunch of goofy guys running around being stupid.
So find yourself a friend who plays D&D and go play.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Pathfinder
and
or any other role-playing game.
yeah, and then watch the movie because it's spot on and very funny. Okay. So, John, you get to pick the next.
Oh, I can pick the next
Yeah.
one.
Of course.
Because you're our special guest.
And the next one is The Last Starfighter.
Ooh.
I don't know what this is.
Cheesy 80s movie.
Oh, excellent! Yay! I think Bill recommended this one. If
If you play an RPG
Might have been
game
me.
good enough, you will get taken up to the motherships.
I know what I have to do now.
Okay, so the next movie we're going to be reviewing is The Last Starfighter. It's a 1984 film. Excellent. If you have any thoughts about the gamers at all, do leave them down below. I'll also have a discussion open in our Goodreads book club for it, even though it's a movie. I know, don't mention it. If you want to have a movie that you really like discussed by our team, leave it in the comments down below. We'll put it in the bowl. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks very much, guys.
So I'm a fighter, you're a bard, and you're the rogue.
Of course I'm the rogue.